hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Monday, the 7th of July. Hope everyone's got a fantastic day. Everyone's feeling fantastically well. And yeah, Gyökeres, what can we say? Apparently, it is happening. Apparently, it is going on. But overall, still, despite everything, it feels like a massive mess. Let's be real, because from some less reliable sources, he's flying to London. The luggage has been packed and everything. He's coming. He's going to be here soon. From more reliable sources, more or less at the moment as I'm live, we're going to check on it in a second. It's still up in the air. Still up in the air. So that is the big one. Obviously, Gyökeres has done a very insane thing in terms of taking salary cut, 2 million euros and everything, just so he can join Arsenal and he can get out of Sporting, which is very weird, I'm not gonna lie, but that is kind of big-ass commitment I kind of love to see from a player. I'm not gonna lie. That is something I want to see if a player wants to join Arsenal, that he actually kind of sacrifices something. Never expected someone to sacrifice something to such an extent. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but breaking up with girlfriend, then sacrificing 2 million and everything, salary cuts and all that stuff. But hey, we'll see how that goes. Trossard has been linked with Turkey moves. Let's just see how that goes. Mosquera bid is also coming soon, apparently. And of course, Arsenal transfer troubles continue in terms of the fact that now we have to decide. We have to make decisions, and we need to make them on the spot. And what I mean by troubles, basically, in 12 days, we fly to Singapore. In few days, the big preseason kicks off, like preseason training and all this stuff. And obviously, we want everyone to be ready, to be prepared and all this stuff. So it's going to be a rough one. It's going to be a rough ride for Arsenal, hence why the troubles, in my opinion. That's at least what I'm saying. We're going to speak on all of that in a split second. So like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new around here, of course. And leave your comments down in the chat. Big up Samina, big up Gyökeres flying to London on Tuesday. Well, we can only hope. Gyökeres medical is booked for Friday at Arsenal Football Club. As I said, we can only hope. Big up Hyper Protagonist, hope you're doing well. Big up Megali, big up what about Rodrygo? Yeah, that is still the big question. What about Rodrygo? Because we're going to go it step by step, because obviously there are Arsenal news channels who go through this step by step, who basically posts every single part of the interview, of the podcast, or whatever the people do, especially Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein, who you would say are more reliable than most of the ITKs. Let's just put it that way. So we're definitely going to talk about that. Big up Darren. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing fantastically well today. And basically, this is where it all kicks off. Apparently, Norgard is expected to be completed within the next 48 hours. So by Thursday, or during Thursday, apparently Norgard will be done. The move will be done, the medicals and all this stuff. That's according to Ben Jacobs, so we'll have to see how that develops. But according to Ben Jacobs, that will be done by the looks of things. But now we're going to move to more matters at hand. Let's just put it that way. This is what David Ornstein was talking about regarding Rodrygo. Since Megali mentioned Rodrygo, let's look at him. Let's look at Rodrygo. Let's see what Arsenal are saying, because the copium is strong. I'm not going to lie, copium is strong. If Arsenal are signing Gyökeres, I would love for Arsenal, and I want Arsenal to sign Rodrygo and Eze. But knowing Arsenal, how they move in the window, I think Gyökeres and Eze is our best bet in terms of what we're going to do. It's just the history teaches us. Let's just put it that way. And according to David Ornstein, inside Arsenal, there's massive admiration for Rodrygo in certain quarters. In certain quarters, which sounds very, very weird for me personally, because I would think that everyone would want to have a player like Rodrygo at Arsenal, but apparently not everyone. There are just certain quarters. I don't know if that's universal. I don't know if that's developing. There have been suggestions that he's prioritizing Arsenal. Yes, there are. I'm sure they will be delighted. Yes, and it's been reported quite widely that Rodrygo apparently would prefer a Premier League move, would prefer Arsenal, but it looks like also potentially, Liverpool could be going in for him as well. Obviously, that is a question mark still that needs to be answered, but apparently Liverpool are also looking, with Jota passing away, with potential Diaz move, maybe, just maybe. They need to fill that void. And in general, they wanted to look at another attacker, preferably a striker, I would assume. But overall, they were looking for another attacker, and it looks like Rodrygo might be the one. And imagine the window that Liverpool could have if they sign also Rodrygo. Like Rodrygo, Wirtz, Frimpong, Gyökeres, that would be insane to say the least. But it's not like the clubs are talking to our knowledge. So Arsenal apparently have not contacted Real Madrid as of yet. There were countless reports that Rodrygo would prioritize Arsenal, allegedly. The talks between him, Xabi Alonso, Florentino Perez, discussing his role and future at the club would happen after the Club World Cup as well. Those were the latest rumors. And the Club World Cup is still going on. Real Madrid are still in it. So until, I would say, Club World Cup ends in a week or so, if I'm not mistaken. So we will have to sit patiently and wait. If you ask me personally, I'm not going to lie, I have given up on Rodrygo. I don't think he's going to sign for Arsenal. I genuinely don't believe so. I know it sounds very weird, very confusing, very mad coming from an Arsenal fan, but I just don't see Rodrygo joining Arsenal anymore. I don't know what is it, but my gut feeling, which sounds very weird because I'm going to sound like an ITK now, I don't have enough evidence to suggest that he would join Arsenal, that he would leave Real Madrid. And if he is going to leave Real Madrid, right, there will be numerous clubs in for him besides Arsenal. There will be Liverpool, I would assume so. There will be most likely the Bayern Munich as well, with losing Sane, with Musiala's injury and everything. And we all know how Arsenal are doing in bidding wars, obviously. With Berta in, I think we won't be pushed around so easily in these bidding wars and in these multi-deal situations where multiple clubs are going for the same player. But still, I would give maybe 1% for Rodrygo joining Arsenal. I somehow don't get that feeling that he actually will come. And that for me is very sad to say as an Arsenal fan. Similar to Anthony Gordon, he's just a player Arsenal like, and as you can see. Rodrygo is a player Arsenal like, and just like Anthony Gordon. Big up Rach99. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Big up everyone. Big up in the chat. And go subscribe to Rich99. Top Arsenal fan, not a top Gooner. Top fan says it as it is, counts it pound per pound. Is close and in the pipeline of getting a laptop so he can do more advanced streams. Let's just put it that way, having people going on some people's streams. So definitely go give him a follow. Daily streams, daily shorts and everything. Definitely go give him a follow. Then who is it? Who's fit for left wing spot for Arsenal? Madueke, no chance. No, Madueke, no chance in hell. I don't know what's going to happen with Eze as well. Eze as well is that mystery signing in terms of position where he would play. He can cover number 10 and he can technically cover left wing, which genuinely for Mikel Arteta would be music to his ears. Personally, I don't want Eze on the left because the way I see Eze, the way I much more prefer Eze playing, right? It's through central areas. So that for me is again a big question mark. Like, left wing market in general is very, very thin and very shallow. Let's just put it that way. We had the chance in January go for Kvaratskhelia, and we didn't. And after that, it's very slim pickings. Unless Rodrygo wants away and Arsenal basically just go all in, which we actually haven't seen, to be honest, that much. I don't see us getting even a left winger. Then that Madueke stuff comes in, and I don't want to see that whatsoever. I'm not gonna lie. And some news say PSG want to buy Rodrygo. Yeah, see what you think? All left wings, like that is the weird one. Yeah, for PSG they have only wingers. They don't have actually proper strikers. You could say Gonçalo Ramos technically is a striker. Well, he's a striker. I'll just put it that way. But overall, they have only wingers. They have only wingers. Some might argue, to be honest, that the same goes for Real Madrid. They have only wingers because Mbappe, yes, he can play striker. He plays striker. But many times we have seen this for PSG. We have seen this also for Real Madrid. Many times he is more dangerous from the left cutting in. So you could argue that Real Madrid has the same thing. They have three left wingers, at least when Ancelotti was there 100%, were the main guys. Rodrygo, left wing, Vini, left wing, and Mbappe as well, left wing, which would also is a very, very weird one in that regard. PSG also only have wingers besides Gonçalo Ramos. So that is, again, going in those terms. So I'm not too sure what way Luis Enrique is envisioning his team if he's going for Rodrygo, but I could see why they would want Rodrygo. The issue with that is, though, they have, as Darren is already saying, they have Kvaratskhelia, they have Desiree Doué, they have Ousmane Dembele, they still have Bradley Barcola, so that winger spots in general are a very big myth. Unless Rodrygo tries to play false nine, something like that, Firmino type of role just for PSG, maybe then I can see it. Otherwise, it's a very, very weird situation. I'm not going to lie. Big up BBK. Hope you're doing well today. Big up BBK Sports. Go subscribe to BBK Sports as well. Top guy, top Arsenal fan. Not a top Gooner, of course. Says that is it. Tries to find the truth between the weaves of the grass and everything. So go show him some love. Go show him some subs and everything. But yeah, this is a very sad one if you ask me, in terms of that. Speaking of Martinelli, it's saying that Martinelli's thing is a very weird one, because there were reports that Al Nassr would want to sign him, but at the moment Al Nassr's situation has genuinely cooled down massively. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen. So if you're going, and David Ornstein has said, if you're going to bring in somebody like Rodrygo or Anthony Gordon, right, someone like high caliber, let's just put it that way, or any other names that have been linked with Arsenal, then there probably isn't space for two such players. Obviously, Martinelli vaguely has been linked with Saudis, and most recently, Leandro Trossard, quite heavily, to be honest, to some extent, has been linked with move to Turkey. Turkey and mostly Fenerbahce. We're going to talk about that. Apparently, Arsenal want about 20 million for him, which I don't see Arsenal getting. And this is the biggest, to some extent, also a big issue for me. Because last September, last year, we rejected a 35 million bid from, I don't remember, Al Hilal, Al something, let's just put it that way, for Leandro Trossard. And they then went and signed Galeno from Porto, right? Now, Arsenal are in this position where Trossard, it's going to be a tough sell. And when we will have to take some losses. And that is, again, great deal of business, is it? Yeah, exactly. For PSG, Dembele already is a false nine. But getting Rodrygo there also wouldn't hurt them. At the same time, if they sign Rodrygo, somebody has to go. And I think Barcola could be the most expendable one. Kvaratskhelia is not going to leave. Doué is their next big thing, their next centerpiece, you could argue. Dembele is staying, Rodrygo is staying. So you could say maybe Barcola could be on the outs. Maybe Arsenal are waiting for some sort of a domino effect. Maybe that, for example, Rodrygo goes to PSG, and then PSG puts someone on the market, and Arsenal going to go for that. Like, go figure. Like, genuinely go figure. Because these left-wing links, as loudly and as much as they're getting talked about in the reports, in the media in general, there are not too many concrete evidence to anything, is there? No bids, no actual contacts, just discussions. Overall discussions, overall inquiries, overall, eyeing. Basically, every single Arsenal buzzword you can put in there. So that is, again, a big worry. Big worry for me. Because if we don't have a distinct target for the wing, that is a big issue for me. I'm be honest, Rodrygo over Barcola, 100%. For me, Rodrygo is, if he becomes available and Arsenal don't get him, it will be another Marmoush, even to higher level, not Marmoush, sorry, another Kvaratskhelia situation, just to a higher level, arguably. Just to a higher level, arguably. The mood is okay-ish at the moment with Gyökeres, exactly. But if we sign Madueke and don't sign Eze, the mood is going to change so fast. Yeah. Gyökeres, as great that would be for Arsenal after 3.5 years, finally get a striker. It's going to be just a feel-good signing for some sort of a time. Because the longer you get starved of food, even things you don't like to eat in general become very tasty for you, doesn't it? Don't they? And this is something like Arsenal are doing. They have starved us from forwards, from strikers for 3 years. And now that we are getting some, everyone is over the moon and they think it's the best thing since sliced bread. But let's be real, the transfer window doesn't stop at Gyökeres. Our attack doesn't stop at Gyökeres. We need more. Because 3 years, the neglect of the attack has been so damaging that one player won't solve all the problems. And if we sign Madueke, that also will not improve massively anything. That is also another thing. Eze is number 10 causing all problems and around the box. Yeah, Eze actually, if we sign Eze, he actually could be the answer to a certain extent for Arsenal to beat mid-low blocks, because that is one of the biggest issues we still have. It's very weird that after 5.5 years in charge, about 3 years facing mid-low blocks consistently to some extent, Arteta still hasn't figured out a way to beat it, like on consistent basis, or at least to create substantial amount of chances that we can score from. We can create 2, 3, maybe 4 chances against mid-low blocks. The issue is our attack that we have at this moment is not clinical enough to put the ball in the back of the net on consistent basis, like score 2 out of the 4 chances we get. It's not clinical enough, and that is a big, big worry. And if Saka goes out, if Saka gets basically pressed out of the double teamed out of the game, we kind of we can pack it up and pray we don't even concede, because afterwards the low block is going to be even 10 times worse. I'm scared. Gyökeres won't become Højlund for Arsenal. He won't. I don't think Gyökeres will become Højlund for Arsenal. I don't see, for example, Gyökeres coming here and also scoring 40+ goals. Let's be real. I'm not that deluded or anything like that. I think if Gyökeres comes to Arsenal, I can see him getting 20 easily. Because if you look at our striker situation, that Havertz can score 9, Merino can score 7 or 8, right? Playing at striker. And looking at the amount of chances, and even some easy chances they miss, especially Havertz from 2 yards out, 6 yards out, and stuff like that, you would be left to believe that Gyökeres converts at least half of them. And that instantly means, more often than not, that he's going to hit the 20-goal mark with ease. That at least is the expectation from me. That looking at the previous attacks and everything we have done and created during games. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Like and subscribe, people, as well, if you haven't already. Eze is a baller, 100%, without shadow of a doubt. Ex-Arsenal, he has expressed the desire to come back and play for Arsenal as well. I'm always saying this, that if he comes back to Arsenal, he would have an extra incentive to perform at Arsenal, because we cut him from our own academy, which means that he said himself he was crying after that when training. Which again means that he would play with extra chip on his shoulders. He would play with extra motivation to prove that we as a club were wrong to cut him from the academy. At least that's how I see it. Will it happen? That's a completely different story. Completely different story. We have to sell Martinelli now because we will end up keeping him and then selling him next summer for 35, 70 million if we can get this great business, because European teams will offer 45 million at most. Yeah. That is the case. And it's actually kind of annoying that, for example, Saudis were not going in so big for players, let's just say 2 years ago. Obviously, after the 22-23 season, it would seem very ludicrous for Arsenal to sell Martinelli after the season he has had, because everyone thought, including myself, it's going to be his breakout season. It was his breakout season. That at least was my expectation, but obviously it wasn't. Arteta changed the system, changed the style, and Martinelli disappeared pretty much. Obviously, injuries didn't help, but if you put all the mentality, the injuries, the system change, everything together, Martinelli just basically fell off a cliff. And if we get a chance to sell him even for 60 million, I think we should sell him. We should take an opportunity, because 60 million is 2/3 already there to sign Rodrygo if he becomes available. I could even argue 60 million. If you had about 10, 15 million on top, it's enough to sign Barcola. I genuinely would argue that. So there are opportunities. The question is, if Arsenal want this left wing spot changed so badly, and let's be real, Mikel Arteta has tried to sign numerous left wingers while Martinelli was here. And even when Martinelli was firing in 22-23 season, he was trying to sign Mudryk, right? And 100 million almost signing. And let's be real, 100 million signing, there's no chance that Mikel Arteta would bench. Like, if they are serious about that left wing spot, and it's not Madueke or some crap like that, you should go on out. Arsenal should go on out and get them. Semi-finals for Club World Cup. Yeah, it's about to happen. Tomorrow, the first semi-final game is, if I'm not mistaken, Fluminense are playing against Chelsea. Fluminense are playing Chelsea. And of course, the second semi-final, on Wednesday, the second semi-final, PSG versus Real Madrid. That 100% is gonna be a pleasure to watch. I'm not gonna lie. At least that's my expectation. I think Martinelli would actually raise his levels if he had Rodrygo in front of him, if he wants just a super sub. Yeah, for me as well, the biggest thing is, if we sell Trossard, we keep Martinelli, and then we sign Rodrygo. Martinelli off the bench, even though he's on 180 grand a week and everything, as an impact sub, as a super sub, as the 12th man, literally, of the bench. I can see that working, and that actually might help him. That would take a bit of weight off his shoulders, arguably, as well. And coming on around 65th, 70th minute, when everyone's getting more tired, legs are starting to be heavy, and then if you can unleash healthy and confident Martinelli with pace, with direct attacks, with ball chasing ability and a ball at his feet, I think it could cause a lot of damage. And I think that could actually help Martinelli maybe build some confidence as well. Because there's no argument that he came up with Bukayo Saka at the same time, and one has risen to the occasion because he's that good in Bukayo Saka. Martinelli, he had one good season and he has disappeared. He doesn't have the technical ability, unfortunately, despite the fact that he's Brazilian. Right? There's no Joga Bonito in him, it feels like. And I can see it working, him being a bench player, 100%. Who's going to win, PSG or Madrid, and the prediction scoreline? Hausen has a red card. PSG defensively is good, but we'll see. I would say it's going to be 3-2 PSG. 3-2, with some late drama, most likely. Big up Raviel Burton. Trossard is more likely to go than Martinelli. 100%. 100%, because Trossard recently is in heavy links with Turkey, with Fenerbahce especially. Look at the contracts. I also think Lokonga, Fabio, and maybe Zinchenko will leave. A lot of business to be done, yeah. And we need to do quite a few business on outgoings as well. That has been one of Arsenal's biggest issues, no matter what year is it. Let's be real. High contracts, or we cannot sell, and the players go for free. Those have been Arsenal's biggest issues, no matter how you look at it, no matter how long you look at it. Lokonga, we just extended. For what reason, I kind of have no idea. I'm not going to lie, because we purposely extended his contract by a year, because his contract ran out this June 30th, a month ago, a week ago, which is a weird one. Fabio, will be interesting what we're going to do with Fabio Vieira, because it's quite evident that for Premier League, he's not strong enough, he's not physical enough. He is definitely thriving more in Portuguese league. I think he would thrive in Serie A, in La Liga. And if there would be a team that would be willing even to pay about 25, 30 million for him still, I would definitely sell him. 100%. Fabio Vieira is still 25, so there's lots of upside, I would say. If he can stay injury-free, you can get still 7-8 good years out of him. And if he can perform and raise his levels, the leagues where he feels maybe more comfortable, given the technical ability, and he can showcase that, I think he could actually be a very good player for that. PSG will win it. Fluminense to beat Chelsea. Trossard also switch representatives, which usually indicates an exit. To be honest, reason why Trossard apparently changed his agents is mostly because due to the fact that his current the agent he had just before has massive health issues, and he couldn't do his job to his abilities or near them due to his health issues. That's why apparently Trossard changed his agent. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it, but those are the rumors that are flying around regarding Trossard and changing his agent. If that is the case, that is just a business move. It is what it is. But if that comes to a reason that he wants to move, that is a completely different story. Why Arsenal don't go for Rashford? Hey, calm down. Don't put that into universe. It's bad enough that we have signed Kepa and we are still linked with Madueke. Don't be surprised that Nkunku shows up on the market for Arsenal. Nkunku apparently is available for 35 million euros, by the way. Euros, not pounds, euros. And of course, Action Jackson is still there as well. Martinelli levels cannot be raised. It's been 6 years and he's doing... Yeah, that is the biggest concern regarding Martinelli. The thing is, though, if he goes to the proper manager, like, your Klopp, well, he doesn't coach, but you get the Klopp, maybe Hansi Flick, the managers that actually attack in open spaces with a quick pace and everything, I think Martinelli will thrive there 100%. Unfortunately, Mikel Arteta doesn't play like that. Hence why, as well, I think it's very, for many players, if you're not that high-end level type of player that can adapt to every situation, for many, many players, many times it feels like it's just a matter of luck under what team you get signed for and under what manager you're playing. Because we have seen countless times that, for example, one player plays bad for one manager, he gets sacked, new manager comes in, and then that player all of a sudden looks like he's a world beater. I think it's also a partially luck, and then obviously it also comes down to the manager, whether he can manage and coach the player to the best of his abilities to actually play good, to become good, to maybe elevate his strengths and become good. Because looking at Mikel Arteta, he doesn't do that, and that is a big worry as well for me. He's not a star. Martinelli could be affected like Trossard off the bench. Yeah, I think so too. No to any Man United player. I can agree to that to some extent. If you said to me, Bruno versus Odegaard swap deal, I would entertain that option. I'm not gonna lie, I would entertain the idea. Otherwise, no chance in hell. Not gonna lie, no chance in hell. No to any more Chelsea players. Facts, unless it's Cole Palmer as well. To be honest, Cole Palmer arguably would be the only one. Maybe Caicedo as well, I would take. Remember, Arsenal were in for Caicedo, and that went well. Rashford actually looked decent at Villa, yeah. And to be honest, Emery screwed up against PSG in that Champions League game. If Emery, he was cooking that on the left side like no tomorrow. If he wasn't taken off, I think actually Aston Villa could have gone to extra time. I kind of believe so, because they had countless opportunities to win game by 5 goals even. PSG looked very shaky in that game, I'm not gonna lie. And that was the worst game they've had. Hence why Luis Enrique, when he talked about his journey through Champions League, mentioned Liverpool, Aston Villa as the toughest opponents from Premier League. Never mentioned Arsenal. What about Nicholas Jackson? I heard some news saying Arsenal going for Jackson, dude. I don't need Michael Jackson at my club. No Janet Jackson, no Michael Jackson, no nothing. We just got rid of Tina Turner in goal. I don't need like Nicholas Jackson, Action Jackson, Michael Jackson in my club. If Rashford runs something as PSG, maybe exactly. That is the case. That's at least how I felt as well. Big up Natalie, hope you're doing well. Previous real estate agent is stopping due to the chronic illness from Trossard. He's stopping due to chronic. Oh, that's his agent, I think. That's why. You know, we bought Gyokeres. Well, it's not fully confirmed yet, is it? No, he's not holding the shirt. I haven't seen Fabrizio say anything yet. I'd rather us go for Osimhen before going for any Chelsea players. To be honest, Osimhen, it looks like he's going to Galatasaray. Apparently, Galatasaray in recent hours have submitted 60 million bid for Osimhen to Napoli. 60 million. And euros, by the way, not pounds, euros. So that comes down to what? 54 million euros. Pounds, sorry. 55 million pounds. 54 million pounds, something like that. Why Arsenal are not in for Osimhen? Kind of have no idea. Is it the wages or what? Big up Most Wanted. Big up Most Wanted. Hope you're doing well today. Big up Most Wanted. Big up, big up, big up. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Anyways, let's move on. Here we go. Apparently, according to Sam Mogbel, same guy who in January announced that we have signed already Zubimendi, and it took us half a year to announce him. Well-placed sources have indicated that Andrea Berta flew to Lisbon towards the end of last week for key face-to-face discussions with Sporting counterparts over the deal of Victor Gyökeres that could be worth around £70 million. And here is the case. According to CNN Portugal and all some reports from Dioras and everything that comes out of Portugal, right? They say that apparently the deal has been agreed upon for Gyökeres 65 million plus about 10 to 15 million in add-ons. 65 plus 10 to 15, right? Which comes together for about almost 80 million. Or that was euros. No, that was euros. Sorry, that was euros. My bad. 65 million euros plus 15 million euros in add-ons. But apparently Sporting Lisbon doesn't want 65 up front. They want 70 up front in money, and then a 10 in add-ons. Like, it's very vague, and it's you get very different reports depending on who you read upon. It's very, very confusing situation currently. I heard the straight opposite. It's all good, Nally. Don't worry. Trossard is not staying, apparently. The Turkey is calling. Fenerbahce and Jose Mourinho are calling. We might sign Gyökeres. It looks like we might actually sign Gyökeres. Because Sky Sports has been told Arsenal did follow legal advice. They had been... Oh, yeah, I'm not going to read that. Nobody cares about that crap. I'm not going to get into that. We'll have to see if Arsenal and Sporting can find a common ground on the transfer fee of Victor Gyökeres. There are some suggestions on social media that it has happened, but that's not my information right now. So don't hold your breath on the news that Victor Gyökeres is already flying to London and doing the medicals pretty much. Yes, there are reports that he is taking 2 million pay cut. Yes, there are reports that he has packed his bags. Yes, there are reports that he's flying to London. But according to David Ornstein, right, don't trust that as well, it's still not up to par. The thing is, though, many times when they say this stuff, next day or day after, they come out with news that the deal is done and the player is already in London doing medicals, right? And this is something that really frustrates me and confuses me at times. It doesn't confuse me, it just frustrates me. Because Fabrizio Romano does the same thing, which is called engagement farming. Because the more tweets you can make about this and more exciting and entice you can get the fans into clicking, into reading and everything, Elon pays. Twitter pays for the tweet views, for tweet impressions. And the more they put it out, the more they get. Let's be real, that's an extra pay. So it's many times, basically what I have noticed that, for example, Fabrizio even does it. Things he says in about 3-4 tweets, right, can be summed up into one. In one tweet, he says things he says over 3 to 5 tweets. Then he quote tweets it with eye emoji and everything and stuff like that, which basically is engagement farming. It is what it is, but they make the bag that in those ways. Like, it gets fans excited. It gets more talking points going in terms of fans and everything. That's how it's going, unfortunately. But we just have to be patient and not lose our head, which is very hard to do, and especially when you're an Arsenal fan. Big up, Mustafa. Hope you're doing well. Finally, Arsenal getting a statement signing. Hopefully. Hopefully. Whether Trossard or Martinelli stays, they become the bench left wing unless we are dumb and only bring in Maduki. Yeah, basically. We need a left wing. We need a left wing, which is very weird. We lost Granit Xhaka, and our left side instantly got screwed up. It has never recovered, has it? The football style has changed about 3 times since Xhaka has left, 2 or 3 times. We play Rice in the 8, we play Havertz in the 8, Trossard has been in the 8, Merino has been in the 8. We try different players there. Then the left back changes consistently. Our left side is so screwed up to some extent, it's actually worrying. It feels like it's irrecoverable. It's not, but now with Kelly there, maybe if we get a proper left wing and everything, maybe it can be salvaged. Maybe. But overall, over the last few seasons, it looks very, very poor. It's all been suck and inshallah and suck and pray, basically. Why Arsenal didn't choose Tesco? Just asking. I'm happy with Gyökeres. Apparently, if you can trust, basically, the reports, they wanted, where is it? I have it probably saved as well. But they wanted 90 million for him. 90 million euros, about 84 million pounds they wanted for him, right? That apparently those are the latest reports. And they wanted most of the money up front, which obviously Arsenal are not willing to pay. They are not going to pay as well. So I think that's the reason why we just walked off and said, screw you, we are going for Gyökeres. Until he holds up the shirt, it isn't done exactly. Until we see him holding up the shirt, getting announced by Sky Sports, Fabrizio and everything, or the club and everything, it's not a done deal. He can still fail medicals somehow. It also can happen. It has happened to Ziyech multiple times. We all know these stories and everything. So it's never an be-all, end-all until he actually holds up the shirt. You get the announcement video and all this stuff. Please, any Rodrygo update? He's perfect for left wing for Arsenal. I heard PSG and Bayern also. Yes, PSG and Bayern also are interested in Rodrygo. Apparently, that is true, allegedly, right? For Bayern Munich, I think Rodrygo is a massive desperation signing because they just lost Sane, Coman as well, and Musiala is out till the end of the year pretty much with fibula break and everything, which means they don't have a left wing pretty much. And Rodrygo would be them the ideal player. And even when they come back, it's going to take some time them to get back to speed, so Rodrygo will still get game time and everything. For them, it would be the ideal scenario. I'm not going to lie. And maybe even Liverpool might go in for Rodrygo. There is also that also cannot be excluded out of the equation. So it is still worries all over the place. 30 of you in here. Damn, 30 people in here. If you haven't already, people, do me the favor. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, if you enjoy the content, and leave your thoughts in the live chat as well, by the way. It isn't Martinelli's fault he gets no support now. Yeah, to be honest, it's accumulation of multiple reasons why. After the 22-23 season, everyone thought Martinelli is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Even Jurgen Klopp said that he's phenomenal talent, but Mikel Arteta changed the play style twice to directly opposite style, which Martinelli thrives on. Then he got some injuries. He couldn't get consistent game time with Trossard and everything. Then he got a few more minor knocks. And his confidence, because of all of that, was shot into the ground. And you can see even when he plays right now, chances he used to put away on consistent basis with his eyes closed, he just cannot anymore. If they get saved, they miss the target, he shoots it straight at the keeper. Like, the confidence also is shot for the player. Remember, Caicedo did a lot for the move for Arsenal in the end, said at Brighton, this is Arsenal, we can ball anything with this owner's a manager. Yeah. Remember Douglas Luiz? He at the moment is available from Juventus as well for about 25-30 million euros. Douglas Luiz, the one that was at Aston Villa who scored direct corner against us at Emirates. Remember that one? Arsenal 35-40 million January, didn't want to pay, right? We're going to go for him afterwards. He signs a new deal. Arsenal never go for him again. And 6 months later, during summer, he goes to Juventus instantly. Remember those days? Like, apparently, Rodrygo spoke to Thiago Silva and only wants to play in Premier League. Then our concern would be City coming in for him. Yeah, City, and I would say also, of course, Liverpool. Because for me, Liverpool need to pick up the fan base after the sad situation that has happened. Let's just put it that way, with Jota and his brother. Plus, already before that, they were looking at a forward, which means they need to do something. And if he becomes available, it could be long. Buy Bakayoko, Baka for Saka, Ranieri can play different positions. Yeah, you would think that. You would think it's that easy with Mikel Arteta, unfortunately. Ranieri at the moment doesn't even want to sign a new deal. His contract runs out next year because he doesn't have guaranteed playtime. Like, that is the next big thing that's happening at Arsenal. Then we are linked with Maduki and everything. It's not looking good. Bakayoko, I wouldn't be the worst signing, but Bakayoko also, he wants a game time. I would have preferred Sesko. Big up to you. Big up to you, PW. Big up Victor. Victor Bamukisa. Arsenal is not serious team to sign Victor Gyökeres. United fan? Just curious. I hope so. It has to be Gyökeres, Rodrygo, Eze for our attack. And Mosquera and Hato, I believe we can challenge. Maybe that could be the case, yeah. The we're watching is that Christian Norgard. Yeah, the Christian Norgard is going to be unveiled in the next 48 hours. Yeah, that is what also Ben Jacobs has told. He's isolated. No backup, left back, no center forward. Like, Saka needs help desperately. Because as soon as you turn off Saka, you turn off also Odegaard. Odegaard alone, he's not the guy who's going to help you win games. He needs help. And that alone is worrying. Let's just put it that way. Saka, he can do it on his own. Biggest test will be if Berta can get money for Deadwood players. Vieira better fetch 25. Yeah, for Vieira, 25-30 million would be decent business, I'm not gonna lie. Genuinely, we bought him for 35, something like that. So that would be a loss anyway. So yeah, big up Tony. Big up Hammer Football TV. Big up Tony. Hope you're doing well today. If you enjoyed West Ham content and if you enjoy football talks in general, consistently, daily, with multiple different panelists, go subscribe as well to Hammer Football TV. Go subscribe to Hammer's Football TV. Show him some love as well. Big up everyone. Sell all our players to Fulham, their retirement home. Like, don't do that though. That the biggest thing is sell our players to Fulham, their retirement home. Have you seen what Fulham has done against Arsenal in the last 2 years? Like, it's worrying. I'm not gonna lie. It is genuinely worrying. Please don't sell Ranieri to Chelsea. That would be so stupid. Yeah. We need to extend his contract in the first place as well. Big up Social Joins. No home for Sesko. We sign a goal scorer, not a guy hyped as Olympic athlete. Yeah, we are not signing 6'5" NBA centers. We want to sign a goal scorer. 6'5", that's not even NBA center. That is a shooting guard at best. Big up Twerk for work. Oh, holy crap. What a name. You better believe it. You better believe it. 100%. I'm benching Odegaard and starting Eze, Rise Zubimendi in midfield. Yeah, same. If we sign Eze, Odegaard holds bench for me. Unfortunately for Mikel Arteta, Odegaard is his adopted child. It's one of his undroppables, which is a big worry. And if we sign Eze, I have a very sneaky feeling we might as well kiss our hopes to a left winger goodbye, because I still kind of believe that Mikel Arteta envisions Eze as a left wing, which is painful, very painful to think about. Just give Gyökeres to Sporting, lower that Gyokeres' price. They're interested in Gyökeres. Yeah, I read that as well yesterday, the day before yesterday. I think that there is a Arsenal, no, not Arsenal. In general, there allegedly were some talks that Arsenal would offer 50 million, 5 million in add-ons, and Fabio Vieira for Victor Gyokeres. And apparently Sporting Lisbon would be willing to take him even. Like, they should not sell Vangueri. Ale, facts. Facts. I don't care. Eze must come home, 100%. Couldn't agree more. Agree, swap plus cash for Gyokeres with Vieira going that direction. I think that actually would be very decent business as well. Opens the wages and everything, covers that, and sounds like a good deal. Give Sporting Nelson and Zinchenko too. Not sure they are going for Zinchenko and Lokonga. Dude, not even Luton Town wanted Lokonga. What chances are that Sporting want Lokonga, a team that has done a double in Portugal, one league multiple times? Big up to everyone in the chat, by the way. Like and subscribe, people, if you haven't already. Oh, here, somebody asked about Sesko. Arsenal have advanced on deal for Gyökeres because of frustrations with RB Leipzig over Benjamin Sesko. There is a feeling that Leipzig have kept an unnecessarily hard line on price, and that is the reason why, basically. Eberechi Eze news. Speaking of Eze, by the way. Eze's preference is understood to be Arsenal, should he leave Crystal Palace. Well, makes sense, to be honest. Although sources close to the situation believe Liverpool may yet activate long-standing interest, no club has yet made any concrete approach to Palace. So even Arsenal have done still nothing regarding Eberechi Eze and trying him to join Arsenal. That is the big thing. That is also a big thing. Arsenal are working a bid that could allow them to sign Eberechi Eze without a substantial sale this summer. Why do we need a substantial sale to sign Eze? Where is this crap coming from? It's not like we're signing like a 110 million player. Arsenal are aiming on a structure that will amount to 3 installments, 3 times 20. There's hope that a suitable deal can be worked out. Well, hope is all. That's all we have at the moment. Zubimendi, some videos. Zubimendi is announced, people. Anyways, Leandro Trossard news. This is for Natalie specifically, by the way. Posting new sports conversation just news. Liverpool forward close to joining Bayern Munich. Yeah, that is Diaz. Does that mean Liverpool? Yeah, that is also a case. That's why I have said throughout this whole stream and even yesterday, don't be surprised that Liverpool go in for Rodrygo, because Bayern Munich want a left wing ASAP, to say the least. And Luis Diaz is one of those guys who apparently has agreed personal terms, and they are talking about it. And if they sell Luis Diaz, they will go in for Rodrygo without shadow of a doubt. 100%, I think. And then again, this will be a 4-horse race. I can see Liverpool being in it. I can see PSG being in it. I can see Man City being in it. And I can see Arsenal being in it. And then it's going to be a massive race. Massive race. Now, with Andrea Berta at the wheel, actually have more hope that we maybe in these bidding wars could actually do something, though. Lokonga needs to be sold to Olympiacos then. Why would Edu Gaspar buy back Sambi Lokonga? Why would Edu do that? Tell me. Nelson would do well in Portugal. To be honest, Nelson would do great in any mid-table team in any league. He's a decent player. Just the fact that he's not good enough anymore for Arsenal. I hope AC Milan come in for Zinchenko. Yeah, but they wouldn't only pay 10 million or 15 million. That is not enough, is it? Genuinely not enough, though. Big up, Andrew. Hope you're doing well. Get in, Arsenal. Yes, Victor. The one I wanted, I'll get done. Hopefully, Eze next. Hopefully, still get Rodrygo. Facts. For Arsenal to make a statement summer, looking at what Liverpool already have done, and they could still do, looking at what Man City did in January and have done in this summer, Arsenal need to sign Gyokeres. They need to sign Rodrygo and Eze. We need to sign these big, high-end caliber players. Gyökeres, Eze, and Rodrygo, that's all. Now we still need a left back though, and we still need a left back. We still need to maybe sign Mosquera for the backup center back option and stuff like that. We still have positions to fill out, unfortunately, and the forwards are not the only ones. I think we're trying to get Gyokeres done before going for Eze, and before going after it. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think we want to get the striker done within the next week till 14th. And the closer we're going to get to getting Gyökeres done, the more attention is going to shift to Eze, most likely. We're going to pay 65 for Eze. There's nowhere around it. Yeah, 3 times 20 plus 5 in add-ons. Wouldn't be the worst deal possible, is it? Why aren't we going for Diaz? He's a baller. I think it's the Liverpool thing, which is, again, the reason why Arsenal are a bit of a small club mentality, because we never go for some of the best players from other big teams. Other big teams come for our big players, but we never go for other teams' big players. I think that is also a big, big thing. I wouldn't mind Arsenal going for Luis Diaz, to be honest. He's actually a very, very good player as well. Long time since we had a Colombian in the team as well, by the way. Liverpool or City will get Sesko. I'm not gonna lie, don't see it happening. Specifically City, I don't see it happening. 20 million for Trossard, sell him to Saudi for 60. You see, like, Leandro Trossard could leave Arsenal this summer despite wanting to stay, and the Gunners may consider selling him for a fee in the region of 20 million euros. Euros, that's about what, 17 million pounds? The discussions were fluid under Edu Gaspar, but talks under Andrea Berta's arrival could change things. The sad part is it says only could, so that doesn't mean they actually will change. This could gives the Chattavarieri a cop-out if he doesn't leave, of course. But Trossard and Martinelli are getting talked about more and more in this transfer window, which again leads me to believe that if this happens, we are signing a left winger. The question is who, though? Because if we sign Madueke, 50 million for Madueke, the crash out, it's gonna be massive, I'm not gonna lie, in the whole fan base. Because I haven't seen I cannot say I haven't seen a single Arsenal fan, but most of the Arsenal fans don't want Noni Madueke, from what I have seen, at least on socials, on YouTube, on Reddit, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, TikTok, right? At the same time, all of a sudden, the more we get closer to this Madueke stuff, right, the personal terms agreed and all this stuff, I'm starting to see this talk about Madueke wouldn't be so bad. He's actually a very decent player. He actually would do good at Arsenal. He could be Bukayo Saka's backup. The same people who last season were screaming that Vanjiri is Saka's backup and why the hell he is not playing, now are saying Madueke is Saka's backup. So what the hell are you doing with Vanjiri then? He already is kind of refusing signing a new deal. He wants guaranteed minutes. He wants guaranteed playtime and everything. He already is demanding it because he just knows he's better than most of the wingers we have in the club. God's sakes, Mikel Arteta played Raheem Sterling in front of him last season. Says it all, doesn't it? Rodrygo can go. Leao is around 60 M's. Leao is massive improvement, I would say, on the left wing, but Leao is like Leandro Trossard. And what I mean by that, basically, is that if he's on fire, kind of unplayable, he's fantastic. If he stinks out the place, which also happens quite a lot, he is one of the stinkiest players you have ever seen. He's very inconsistent. Says so I got Liverpool City now. I hope we don't regret not getting him. We won't. Trust me, we won't. Big Aki, I'm good. Thank you. Hope you're going. Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing very, very well. I'm doing well. Streaming, chilling, talking Arsenal. Actually, not too pissed off or annoyed because we're actually getting some stuff done in this window, which is actually quite nice for a change. Because he was one of the dumb enough to believe Lokonga would be the next Yaya Toure, so Edu might still do it. Nah, he's not going to step on the same rake twice. No chance in hell whatsoever. Like, he is signing Igor Jesus and everything. Remember, Arsenal were linked with Igor Jesus as well. Man City, not a good example. They want to get rid of Nico Gonzalez already after paying 65 M's for him. This is a weird one, by the way, because I read Nico Gonzalez, City want to get rid of him. Half an hour later, it says Nico Gonzalez is going to report for Man City duty. There is no talk about selling him. Like, there is also no consistency in those rumors. It's weird. Let our best left back go? Yeah. Arteta's big mistake. The only left back that was consistent, the only left back The only player that we had left who won the FA Cup, who handed Mikel Arteta the FA Cup with love over the top balls to Aubameyang. I would say one Sesko, exactly. Leo is lazy. I'm not gonna lie, he's a bit lazy. Yeah, but Eze would be paid in installments, three times 20. Yeah, this installment thing for Arsenal actually could do a massive favor if we could sign him. Why would Liverpool want Sesko, to be honest? Facts. Another Nunez, nice. If Liverpool sign Isak, doesn't matter who we sign, league is done. We would have to go for FA Cup or Carabao. But for me, that is not enough, though. I want to win trophies. I want to win the FA Cup. I want to win the Carabao Cup. But for me, in 6.5 years into the game, almost $1 billion, if not billion, by the end of this window spent, it's not enough. Let's be real. For me, it is not enough. Signing Madueke would make our window a 6 out of 10 at best. At the moment, our window is 3 out of 10 for me personally, because we have signed Kepa and Zubimendi. Tomiyasu has been terminated. And that's about it, pretty much. And until we actually get some business done, it's not going to change too much. Because for me, the right signings is a massive thing. But also the right outgoings is a very massive influence on that. I live outside Emirates Stadium. I hear the goals when they go in. Big up to you. Hope you enjoyed. As long as we score, of course. Chelsea are expecting offers for more than 50 million. Dude, if we pay 50 million for Madueke or more than that, you might as well fold the club before season kicks off. 50 million, 50. 50? I'm sorry. If you pay 60 for Eze, in which universe Madueke is worth 50? Like, make it make sense. Yes, but then Lazy Leo has burst. Yeah, he has, but that's also different situations. You have to look at also at that. Much more defensive league without Galacticos as teammates. What is that? Yeah, but Rodrygo plays out of position. He's not a guaranteed starter as well, more or less, although he plays a lot and everything. For me, Rodrygo is a left wing. I want to see a full season of Rodrygo at left wing to make my full judgment. That's what I want to see, but we're never going to see that because Real Madrid rate Vinicius higher. And there is no argument that, for example, Rodrygo has done some clutch moments there as well. Arteta won't get us the league title or Champions League win. Then sack him already. Like for me at the moment, I guess FA Cup, Carabao Cup, great, fantastic, phenomenal. We got some cups, but it's not enough at the moment. Let's be real. It's not enough after all this time and this wait and everything. 21 years since last Premier League, 5 years since Carabao Cup, 32 since since FA Cup, since Carabao Cup, 32 years, 5 years since FA Cup, and about the Champions League, the less than the better. Our women's team has more Champions League trophies, 2, than we have Champions League finals appearances, 1. Let that sink in. Big up Samson. He could leave. Yeah, he could leave. Tomiyasu terminated by the Terminator Berta. Mutual agreement. Let's just put it that way. I think that also what played the big role is the fact that Tomiyasu is a very humble guy. Compared to others, I think Tomiyasu is a very humble guy, and he actually looked at it and said, year and a half, you extended me while I was injured. You know what? I'm going to do you a favor because it doesn't look like I'm going to get any game time anyways. And I'm going to still be injured for half a year. I'm going to go rest. Because there were some rumors circulating during season around, more specifically March, April, that Tomiyasu actually might retire just due to the injuries. Big up TK. Bro, I have Napoli fans on strings. Yeah. TKA, he is an Arsenal fan who lives in Netherlands, and he is also a Galatasaray fan. And Galatasaray have submitted 60 million bid for Osimhen. TKA, why Arsenal are not submitting 65 million bid for Osimhen? Can you answer me that, though? Because we are in such a rush to sign Gyokeres and sign this and sign that. Why are we not doing this? Why are we not doing this? Serious question. They don't want to accept. Galatasaray is a bigger club than Napoli, I'm not going to lie. Based on trophies, at least, definitely is. In recent times, a bit different story, but overall, yeah. How close is Gyökeres? Well, we have big up Ashley Spencer. We basically have to sit tight and wait. I'm not going to lie, we just have to sit tight and wait. That is all we can do at the moment. Anyhow, apparently Arsenal are still in for this guy. Mosquera, mosquito, and everything. Because of his salary, I get it, but depends. I'm terminating Havertz, Jesus, Trossard as well. To be honest, I'm terminating Arteta first. After that, whatever follows. Gyokeres gave 2 million of his wages to join. Osman wants 21 minimum. You know how mad that is? Gyökeres allegedly wants a bit the same amount or less money than Sesko is getting at the moment at RB Leipzig, if I'm not mistaken. There were some rumors about that. I don't know if it's true or not because I haven't had time to look into it personally, right? But it looks that way. But the fact that Gyökeres allegedly has broken up with his girlfriend, is taking 2 million salary pay cut just so he can basically just right now get on the jet and fly to Heathrow and be at Arsenal already, shows you everything you need to know how much he wants to come to Arsenal, right? At the same time, what the hell is holding up Arsenal to pay the money? And on top of that, and this will be a counter argument for everything, right? Arsenal need to be careful with this because if he's doing this to Sporting, right, it might happen to Arsenal at some point as well. Just saying. But that will, we're going to deal with it then if it happens even. Not guaranteed it's going to happen. How does everyone know it's close? Reports from Fabrizio, Ornstein, and billion ITKs. Arsenal will never pay that. I get it. It's a shame sometimes, but obviously our wage structure already is screwed up as it is. And then let's be real, we don't want to screw it up even more. Even though I would love to have Osimhen at Arsenal, it would screw up our screwed up wage structure more than it already is. Let's be real. Too many excuses for Rodrygo. Vinny is better than him at left wing. In big games, you could make that argument. Overall, I would take Rodrygo. There's no proof that Rodrygo will be better left wing when he hasn't played there in 5-6 years. He has played there on occasion for Real Madrid, and some of his best games for Real Madrid have been from the left wing. Can't convince me he will just elevate in the left wing like that. But to be honest, it's Rodrygo or Eze for the left wing, at the end of the day, isn't it? If you look at it that way. And I don't see Osimhen and Arteta gel together. He has too much personality for Arteta. That's what we need. We need someone, when Mikel Arteta says, no, Victor, no backhill passing, and Victor just turns around and just around his head and everything, just does that. We need something like that in the club, genuinely. Big up, Beggy. Hope you're doing well today. In my mind, we are going to fall to the third place, and we'll keep falling until Arteta will leave. You know, I'm not even too sure we're going to get to third place if we keep this up. If we sign Gyökeres, right, and if we even sign Eze and stuff like that, it's still not guaranteed we're going to be in top 3. Because ultimately, it comes down to Mikel Arteta, him managing, him coaching, his tactics, his style, and everything. And for me personally, it doesn't matter who we get because Mikel Arteta will screw it up. Because he has done it before, he hasn't learned from it, he has done it afterwards, and he's going to do it again. I believe Gyökeres is a true fan of Arsenal for doing all this. It looks that way that he wants to come, let's be real. If we don't get him now, it will be so many things laughable, diabolical to mention. To be honest, it would be in Arsenal's fashion, wouldn't it, to screw this deal up right now. It would be in Arsenal's fashion. Then again, with Andrea Berta doing the business part of the thing with yap, and all that stuff, kind of I believe we're going to do this at the end of the day. Exactly. Eze is not a winger, but we have not been linked with any wingers. Rodrygo and, Madueke. And let's be real, nobody wants to see Madueke at Arsenal first place. So it's Rodrygo or Eze, because he tends on occasion to play there for, Crystal Palace. And looking at the fact that Bayern apparently are looking at him, although Diaz's deal is kind of advancing a bit, but not to that extent right now. There is Liverpool, who will want to sign a left winger, potentially, especially if Diaz leaves. Then you have Man City, who knows what's going to happen there. And then on top of that, you have, of course, Arsenal, and then you have PSG, who allegedly want as well Rodrygo. It could be hell on earth at the end of the day. We could be left again for another season with Trossard and Martinelli. Let's just put it that way. This Sesko guy, Nico and their agents were trouble last year and was trouble this year. They're drunk with their wonder kid hype, don't understand the big teams move on. Yeah, that is the thing. I think that it also comes from the from certain agents, right, that demand stupidly high agent fees. And some clubs can afford to pay that. Some clubs are willing to pay that. And then there are obviously many clubs who say, screw you, I'd rather get plan B than pay you, for example, 35 million in agency fees. Let's just put it that way. There also that comes into play whenever you sign a player. So it's what it is, I guess. Only way we get Arsenal set up for success is getting Saudi owners sacking Arteta and selling the bums. Yeah, basically we need new owners, we need new board, we need new manager, we need new bench. Part of the bench, let's just put it that way. So yeah, it's always Eze over Rodrygo for me. Big up to you. I totally understand it. I'm not blaming you. I would take both of them, and I would take either of them at Arsenal. I would take one of them 100%. We should be signing Gyökeres this summer and doing a swap deal plus cash for Sesko next summer with Havertz going to Leipzig. Maybe we could muster something like that. There are talks that some Bundesliga teams are interested in Havertz for next season starting. So that will be very interesting to see whether that comes to fruition or not as well. Because all these rumors are all fun and games, but until it actually gets some legs, obviously it genuinely means nothing. Okay, who wants to get annoyed? Like, serious talk. Who wants to get pissed off at the moment? Who is feeling so good that I need to bring them back to the ground? Who wants to feel something dangerous? Let's just put it that way. Look at this. Oh, shit. I shared the wrong screen. Sorry, my bad. I effed it. This one. Load, thank you. This one. Look at that smug face. Look at that smug face. And you know what it's saying? I'm going to zoom in for you all. This is what they're saying. Those within the club are very happy with Mikel Arteta's progress at Arsenal, and it is not thought that external pressure to deliver is replicated internally. That's according to David Ornstein. Who is ready for this? Who is ready for this? Serious talk. Who is ready for this now? This will be a very rough discussion, I would assume. We'll get Havertz under 16 team in place of Dauman. Dude, Dauman would run circles around him still. Even if we sign Eze, he will play 5 games at Cam as long as Odegaard, he will not get. That is the biggest worry. That is the biggest worry as well. I volunteer to reduce Havertz's comfort level. What you gonna do? What you gonna do with this? How you gonna do that? Instead of massages, you're gonna point some needles in his armpits or something. Yeah, Maduki. But yeah, within the club, they're very happy with Mikel Arteta, which is already very worrying. Let's just put it that way. Nobody is in rush. Nobody feels there is no pressure, no nothing. Everyone is super lovely, jubbly happy. And that, again, is a bit of a worry. Let's just put it that way. Like, this is a bit of a worry for me personally, starting to get worrying again, that there is no pain, no stress. Big up TK. Thoughts on the comments from David Ornstein? Anyone? Anyone has any comments on this post from David Ornstein, what he has said? Like, no pressure whatsoever. What the hell? Ooh, Anthony Alanga to Newcastle is a here we go. Deal in place, £55 million. Agreement also in place with players camp on a long-term deal. Anthony Alanga is joining Newcastle for 55 million. And we are willing to pay 50 for Madueke. Make it make sense? Dude, I'm Norwegian and Japanese, and I would be very happy if we terminated Tommy's contract and if we bench Odegaard club in over country in football. I get it. For you in that regard, I totally get it. For you, I totally get it. Like, but to be honest, you are in the World Cup. Maybe you can win something. Who knows? No. Bro, when I saw this tweet, I got sick. Surely they sack him after one more failed year. No, well, based on this one, not too sure that's gonna happen, bro. Genuinely not so sure that's gonna happen. It looks like they're happy with Arteta's progress. There is no pressure compared. There is external pressure from us, allegedly, but there is no internal pressure. The fact that we are winning nothing also there is no pressure about that. So, but externally and deep down, this fraud knows he must deliver the fans' concern very quickly. Even there are the essentials who have solid turn. It takes one thing. If we go to Old Trafford week 1 and we lose there, instantly something's gonna flip. After that, we have Liverpool away as well. We have Man City at home. Then we have Newcastle away. In the first 6 games, we have City, Newcastle, Liverpool, United away, of course. Then we have Nottingham Forest, I think, and we have Leeds at home. So already you can tell it's gonna be hell on earth if something doesn't go our way. We have a very tough start, and we are not prepared as of yet as well. Big up Valeria. The only way pressure mounts is if fans avoid buying merch and stop attending games. Hurt them in their pockets. Yeah, but let's be real. Arsenal at the moment is a very big business venture. It's not as much as a club anymore. It's more of a tourist attraction, what it looks like. Listening to the atmosphere at the Emirates and everything, they have totally dismantled the Ashburton army and everything in the fan sectors, and it's actually embarrassing how now it looks. Good move with Madueke if we want him. If we just wait out till UEFA pressure comes on, they will sell for the right price. Well, I would take Madueke for about 10-15 million. Then I can get it for 50, no chance in hell. Smash the likes, people. Smash the likes if you haven't already. Smash it, caress it, destroy it, Hulk it. Arteta did a good job getting us from the terrible place. To be honest, he kind of put us in that terrible place as well, partially. We cannot forget that. I'm tired of us being loyal to the managers. He doesn't have money in the bank, and one FA Cup is not. Yeah, he doesn't have any credit in the bank. Let's be real. Arteta has no credit in the bank in those terms. He won FA Cup with a team that doesn't exist anymore. Not even a single player from that FA Cup final is in this squad. Martinelli was injured, Saka wasn't playing, so everyone else has left. Arteta has gotten rid of everyone. He has spent almost $1 billion, built his own team, and he has, nothing to show for it. Let's be real. Odegaard will start every match as long as he will not get injured, and if he will get injured, Eze will be playing, and when Yeri wants to play where he can play if we sign Madueke. Exactly, that's why when Yeri is holding out on the new contract as well, I think, because with Madueke links, with Eze potentially signing, he will have less options to play unless we sign him and loan him out. It is going to be a worry for him. Hence why, when Yeri is asking for guaranteed minutes already. If we had picked up some cups in these years and finished second, we could understand a little but one cup lucky first season, not good enough, exactly. To be honest, he also won that cup with playing 5 at the back, which he has never done since, by the way, as well. He has changed the tactics all the time, systems all the time, and everything. Yet again, he comes out in interviews, says you need about 50 games to judge a player, 50 games to adjust the system, or you need 2 seasons to adjust the system. But if you change the system every season, how can anyone adjust? Like, contradiction within contradiction, let's just put it that way. Cronkies know that Arsenal fans won't stop buying merch or going to games. Let's be real. Once Gyökeres arrives, if he arrives, let that be putting more perfectly, the merch will fly off the shelves. People will buy Arsenal kits with Gyökeres on the back like no tomorrow, because Arsenal and Cronkies have starved us from a proper striker for 3.5 years since Aubameyang left. It's gonna fly off the shelves, and there won't be enough for the demand. They've always been consistent with their expectations. Top 4 is enough for them as long as they make money, yeah. And if we get Champions League, we go far in Champions League, that comes on top of that. Then the commercial revenue and everything, it's... Arsenal are out of depth as well pretty much right now, so it is nuts. The brown envelopes such as Tom Hansen need to be called out. Yeah, but big up my boss. But I am on Shane's streams, on Views' streams, on Lee's streams. Everyone calls them out, but ultimately, this is what it is. They're gonna glaze it until it's blaze it. It wasn't Kroenke, it was Mikel waiting for perfect strikers. Technically, that is also true because Mikel Arteta refused to sign a striker because money was there. He didn't sign Dovbyk, he didn't sign Sorloth, he didn't sign Ivan Toney. And on Kroenke's mostly is the fact that we signed Arteta in the first place. Because when we sacked Arteta, Ancelotti, for example, was available. And when we gave Arteta an extension, he also was available and we didn't sign him. Allegri has been moved in that time. Conte has moved in that time. There have been options. Flick, Xavi, there have been quite a few managers we could have replaced him with. And we haven't done it. Super prick Arteta. Yeah, he knows exactly what we need. He knows Mosquera at the back, Maduki in attack, and Arsenal ball top 4 in the league and everything. That's what it feels like. I'm getting the sense that the fans are getting tired of not winning anything. Even the ones that support Mikel, it's getting worse next season if we don't win anything. It could go back to Wenger out days, on the toxic days when there were fights in the stadium, massive ones. They were already mini ones last season, but there could be massive ones. There could be planes flying over Emirates as it was, or was it over Goodison at the time? I think it was over Goodison, but maybe it was over Emirates. With Wenger, it's time to go. Wenger out. They were flying. There were banners and everything, protests. So if he gets to that, it's gonna be a very rough ride. Arteta threw away the domestic cups. Our priority has always been the league and Champions League, but those trophies would have built momentum. Exactly. Winning breeds winning. None of these players have won something as a unit. None of them. None of them have won anything as a team. None of these players have lost a final even as a team. Because those two build character and they make you understand what it takes to win. And none of them, together at least, have not experienced that. We have a few players who have won stuff, obviously, individually or with their national teams or previous clubs, but it's not the same. Let's be real. If we put it that way, it definitely is not the same. But yeah, people, I think on that note, we're going to end today's stream. If you haven't already, do me the favor, smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. You have been fan-freaking fantastic with all the comments, with all the chat, with everything. It was fantastic to read your comments and respond and have discussions. It has been lots of fun, to say the least. I'm not going to lie. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, the usual time, we gonna be live on this channel right here with this guy. BBK Sports. USA is gonna be in the house. He's gonna join me. We're gonna talk about Arsenal, transfers, the crap that's going on at the club. Will anything change anytime soon? More and more and more and more. So don't forget to drop by. Big up everyone. Have a great evening. Have a great day tomorrow. Hope you enjoy the stream. And yeah, try to stay positive. And let's hope tomorrow is a big day for Arsenal, because I really want to see Gyökeres at Arsenal. And here we go. So big up to you all. Have a nice evening. Have a nice day tomorrow. And see you very, very soon. Peace.